Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, you guys see where the fuck I'm at. You guys see where I'm at. I'm back home in South Florida, you know, the home of the Untouchable. And it's good to be home, man. I was gone for 2 weeks tending some things outside of boxing. But we're back, and we're better than ever. And I wanted to just come out the box. First video back in the room. First video back in South Florida. Let's come straight out the box. Okay, let's talk about my main man, 50 grand, WBO Middleweight Champion, Demetrius Andrade, because his name has been in the news a lot. Demetrius Andrade's name continues to be thrown in the mix of fights at 160, fights at 168. As I documented in the last video, him and his team are plotting a move up to 168. The WBO said, no, you can't go to 168 and just fight Canelo right away. Apparently, Zach Parker, who's the interim champion, who's also happens to be the #1 contender for Canelo Alvarez, he's had a lot to say about Demetrius Andrade because apparently the WBO had ordered Zach Parker to face Andrade for the interim title. Andrade actually, according to this Ring magazine article, he decided against facing Zach Parker, and he will instead keep his WBO middleweight championship. And if that happens, that most likely means he's going to be fighting his mandatory challenger, Johnny Beck Alumkali. Now, a lot of people were criticizing Andrade for wanting to move up to 168. And they viewed it as him ducking Johnny Beck. So now if he stays at 160, I don't want to hear anybody say anything about he should have went to 168 because a lot of you guys are claiming for him to stay at 160. But listen, here's what Zach Parker said about Andrade word for word, verbatim. He said, and I quote, "People call Andrade the boogeyman, but I must be the problem in the way. I don't think he fancies it. Hopefully I will push on and fight for the interim title next. From what I gather, Andrade said he really doesn't fancy it and he will stay at middleweight." He then continued by saying, I quote, "He is a really good fighter, two-weight world champion, undefeated, doesn't know how to lose, but he would be coming up to super middleweight, which is a lot bigger than middleweight. These middleweights really feel the difference in the power when they step up. It would be a really good fight, and if that came around, I would be more than willing to take it, and hopefully we could get it in Britain. I think he will stay at middleweight because people don't like that I can switch hit and I hit hard with both hands and it scares people off." So essentially, if you guys didn't catch what Zach Parker said, essentially what Zach Parker is saying about Demetrius Andrade is that Demetrius Andrade is ducking Zach Parker. He don't want to fight Zach Parker. You know what I'm saying? But look, all jokes aside, there's two ways you could look at this. All right, now you could look at this as saying, you know, Demetrius Andrade is bullshitting about Canelo Alvarez because here he has a chance to fight the #1 contender in the WBO for the interim title to potentially position himself as mandatory for Canelo, and he's not doing that. Or you could say, you know what? You know, Johnny Beck Alumkali is the fight that a lot of people are calling for. A lot of people are saying that he was going to duck him and go to 168, so you should be happy that he's staying at 160. You know, there's two ways to look at it. But honestly, what I'll say is this. Andrade's in a situation where he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't because, you know, the big names at 160 don't want to fight him. The 160 division is one of the worst divisions in boxing. It's the same division that has Sergio Martinez ranked #4 in the WBA. So that kind of lets you know what kind of state the division is in right now. Demetrius Andrade, you know, he just has to beat whoever fights him. He's got to beat him. If it's Johnny Beck, he has to beat him. If it's Zach Parker, he's got to beat him. If it's Chris Eubank or whoever, he's got to beat them. Will the Canelo fight ever happen? Probably not. It's really a pipe dream, and the only reason that I truthfully talk about it here on True School Sports is because that fight happening is what's right, fair, and just for boxing. Because it's been supposed to happen years ago and it hasn't. So that's why I talk about it. But there's fights out there for Andrade. I would like, personally for me, I think he should stay at 160 and fight Johnny Beck because that's a fight that now all of a sudden, people are starting to get on the Johnny Beck bandwagon and say that Demetrius Andrade is ducking Johnny Beck. And then I'm not gonna lie, the Canelo fans and the Andrade detractors who are now getting on the Johnny Beck bandwagon hoping and praying he beats Boo Boo. And by the way, I think it is a dangerous fight, and I think it is a very good fight. And I've always thought that. I didn't need the Canelo situation or anything outside of that to sell me on this fight being good. I always thought this fight was good. It's just these people now who are just now finding out who Johnny Beck is, or who are looking for a hope to dethrone Andrade. This is the guy they're rallying around. So it's really got me excited. I think it would be a really fun time on the channel if Demetrius Andrade fought Johnny Beck and we were live for the fight. As far as Zach Parker, like, look, I watched Zach Parker fight one time. I think he's solid. I don't think he's anybody special, but truthfully speaking, even if Andrade went up there and beat Zach Parker, there's no guarantee that he'll become that he'll get a Canelo fight, because you're fighting for the interim belt to fight the #1 contender. Let's say he beats Zach Parker, he becomes mandatory, and he wouldn't fight Zach Parker to maybe the middle of the year at the earliest, middle of the year. Canelo's gonna fight the middle of the year, around May as well. There's no guarantee that he even fight him, because it looks like Canelo Alvarez has his sights set on a move to 175. So, you know, if that's the ambition to fight Canelo, I don't think fighting Zach Parker is gonna do it for him. You know, it is what it is. You know, it would have been nice, but sometimes some things just aren't meant to be in boxing. So it is what it is. But that's the news, man. Zach Parker saying that Demetrius Andrade don't want no smoke. And personally, look, if I was Andrade, I would make my fight against Johnny Beck my last fight at 160. Defend the belt against him. Maybe you can see if you can get one of the fights with like the Charlo or the Golovkin or Murata or someone like that to unify some titles. And if you can't get those fights, then you move up to 168 and you go fight Zach Parker to punch his mouth in, to see what he's about. And then you beat him. If Canelo does vacate, you know, then maybe that gives you a chance to become 3-division champion and challenge for another title. And 168 is a much deeper division than 160. You know, you got a lot of good fighters in that division. You got guys like Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, David Morrell, and a whole host of other fighters. So I think a move to 168 at some point in his career, really soon, would really breathe some new life into his career. But I think right now, the fight that people want to see and the fight that people keep clamoring for is him against Johnny Beck Al-Numkoli. So, you know, you got to give the people what they want. If they think Johnny Beck's the guy to beat Demetrius Andrade, then let's find out. Because in 2022, as I said many times, it's the year of no excuses and no dishonor in boxing. And we got to set higher standards in boxing. So I want to see that fight, because Johnny Beck thinks he can win. A lot of people are getting on the Johnny Beck bandwagon. I still think Andrade would beat him, but I know it's a dangerous fight. I know that that's no cakewalk for him, and I like that fight a lot. So, yeah, man, that's the news. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you make of this whole situation with Zach Parker, the WBO at 168, the interim title, Johnny Beck? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God bless.